Here's Brody Brazil.
Hey, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a new segment I'll be trying out here called This Week in Giants Baseball. Now, I'm not really sure about the ultimate format that I'm going to settle in on, but for now, we'll kind of go game by game with some of my thoughts for each in what was this first full week of the regular season for San Francisco in 2024. We begin with series number 2 and game 1 at Dodger Stadium against Los Angeles. The Dodgers hand the Giants an 8-3 loss where San Francisco simply got overpowered. Pitching matchup went like this. Keaton Winn for the Giants went 5 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk. He struck out 6, and he went 89 pitches. He was facing James Paxton, who also went 5, who also gave up 4 hits, but didn't allow an earned run. He walked 5 San Francisco batters, but he also struck out 5 Giants. Now, the Dodgers scored 8 times, and obviously that's usually enough to win you a baseball game, but they scored runs off all 4 Giants pitchers that were used in this game. So clearly 3 off Keaton Winn and 5 more off the bullpen once Winn departed. Conforto got his 3rd homer of the season for San Francisco, and at that point, it put the Giants on a 5-game home run streak to start their season, which was the team's longest since the 2017 campaign. And also nice that the homers came from a variety of different names and bats. Good to see San Francisco emerge with the offense to start. Obviously, it tailed off by the end of this week, which we'll get into. But good to see that at least established from the very beginning. In this game 1 of the series, the Giants left 10 runners on base to the Dodgers 3. Obviously, Los Angeles drove in most of their base runners. The Giants got single runs in the 6th, 7th, and 9th innings. So it did feel a bit lopsided that the Dodgers were putting up crooked numbers. They were scoring a lot more runs. San Francisco got a few at the end to make it 8-3 as the final score. And how about the top 4 Dodger hitters in the lineup, including Mookie Betts, who we'll talk about in a second, 8 for 13 in this game alone with 5 RBI. So the table setters at the top, they did their job. Game 2 of the series saw a lot more of a back-and-forth contest. The Giants get to have Logan Webb out there. He only goes 3 2/3. He allows 7 hits, 5 earned runs, walks 2, strikes out 5 on 96 pitches. This was a bullpen game for the Dodgers, and the Giants scored all their runs off the headliner, Yarborough, who came in the game, obviously, as the second pitcher for Los Angeles. But Yarborough also recorded the win. He only went 4 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. He walked 1. Also struck out 1. And the Dodgers offense just brought it again. This game, Mookie Betts had his 1500th Major League hit. In this game, he goes 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. And he's batting .500 on the season at this point. So Mookie Betts on an absolute tear. And no matter what team he'd be on, it would be tough to contain him, but especially on the Dodgers with other hitters behind him, causing a lot of damage so far against the Giants in this series. Jorge Soler gets his first stinger as a Giant. He goes 2 for 3 in this game. He walks. Conforto and Flores each get 2 hits in the game. And the Giants' bullpen actually is pretty good. Once Logan Webb departed, they did not allow a run after that. Roop, Taylor, Rogers, and Walker go 4 1/3 and don't allow any more runs to the Dodgers. But at least this felt like a more competitive back-and-forth game. And for all the hype and all the Ohtani showcase that the Dodgers feature, right? To lose a game 5-4 and be competitive, all right, now you're more in the ballpark. Now you're in the vicinity. Unfortunately, the Giants also lost game 3 of this series. They get swept, and they lose by an identical 5-4 final score. Now, for the Dodgers, at the end of this game, separately from playing against the Giants, it's the first time the Dodgers have scored 5 or more runs in their first 9 games for the first time since 2004. And remember, the Dodgers began their season right overseas, so they've already got a couple extra games under their belt, but 5 or more runs in all of their first 9 games for the first time since 2004. Jorge Soler of San Francisco gets his 2nd straight game with the home run. Harrison gets the loss in this game. He goes 5 innings, allows 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He walks 3, strikes out 4. And Ohtani late in the game gets his first homer as a Dodger at Chavez Ravine. And that thing, when it was hit, just the crack of the bat, I don't know if they have extra microphones at Dodger Stadium because it's Los Angeles, but it just sounded violent off the bat. Obviously, you know the whole dilemma about the fan that caught it, got some rewards for it, but not as many as she should have, apparently. So anyway, Ohtani has his first homer as a Dodger against the Giants. But 7 of the 9 Dodgers in the starting lineup recorded a hit against San Francisco on that night, so it was a pretty wholesale effort by Los Angeles with the bats. But the Giants bullpen is actually good again. Miller and both of the Rogers come in. They go for 3 innings, allow just 1 earned run, don't walk anybody. And oh, by the way, Bailey goes 2 for 3 with the dinger. So another close and competitive game. But man, you go away from that Dodgers series feeling like, wow, that's a tough team to compete against, to ever try and beat. There's no easy outs in their lineup. What part of their lineup gets any easier? They've got some pitchers that are absolute nails. We'll move on from the Dodgers series. We'll revisit the summary at the very end. Okay, now San Francisco gets to come home to Oracle Park, play some home games. They start off with opening day and a walk-off win, but an opening day to celebrate. We know the end result of how the day went, but how about the way it started? And truly getting to enjoy the rewards of the winter and the Snells and the Chapmans and the Lees and all the players that came in, the Hicks, who started in this game, went 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 was earned, didn't walk anybody, threw 5 strikeouts on 91 pitches. He's looking great in this new role. I say new role, going from a bullpen pitcher, a reliever, to now in the Giants starting rotation. But I go back to just the opening day to celebrate. Like the front office and the commitments that were made and the directions that changed, and Bob Melvin is the new manager. It really was a moment to say, okay, forget the first 2 series and what just happened down against the Dodgers. Like, let's celebrate what lies ahead for this group and what they're hoping to build. As for Hicks, right, who is, I say, a converted reliever, but he used to be a starter, then was a reliever, now going back to starting, he said about this game, quote, "That was my first time going 7 innings since 2017. So it felt good to even be out there for that. It gave me even more of an urge to want to be out there and push myself a little bit," end quote. Now, there is just a little bit of concern with Jordan Hicks about the fact that I don't think he's exceeded 110 innings pitched ever in his career. So how will he sustain and endure 2024 as a starter if he really starts to rack up the innings? Let's hope it all goes well. Let's save that for a different video down the road. But the Giants get the walk-off win in the bottom of the 9th when Thairo Estrada doubles to score Matt Chapman from first. And the Giants get 1 fewer hit than the Padres, but they score 1 more run. So it wasn't looking great, and it got late. And obviously the Giants were a bit frustrated by not scoring as many runs as they wanted to. Kind of a chilly, not hitting weather opening day at Oracle Park, but they ultimately get the 3-2 win. And watching Chappie round third and go headfirst into home plate, it was very electric for that opening day crowd. Game 2 of the series, it's a Saturday, not a day game, but more of a twilight evening game, and the Giants get blacked out on the scoreboard. Now, the 6 p.m. start was the first start with the new LED light system, right? So I think they wanted to do a night game early in the season, show this thing off, bells and whistles. Problem is, Giants didn't hit a homer, Giants didn't even score a run to do anything overly exciting with the new light and sound system. Keaton Winn was the starter, 6 innings, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, but the only problem was in this game, Jurickson Profar of the Padres hit a first-inning grand slam, and literally after that, the Padres didn't score anymore, the Giants never scored. The game was over. Just a handful of batters into this game. And I say the game was over, it was also over in 2 hours and 10 minutes. This thing was a breeze. You blinked and you missed it, and it was all done. Jung Hoo Lee in this game went 0 for 4. Just kind of noticing a trend here. The last video I made about the first week of the season, first series, so to speak, in San Diego, he was doing great, making contact, putting the ball in play, getting hits, hitting a home run. His average has now dipped from 316 to the Mendoza line. He's at 200 after going 0 for 4 in this game. And also after this game, Giants starters are 23rd in Major League Baseball after Keaton Winn's outing, 6 innings and 4 earned runs with a 5.12 ERA. It's the first time the Giants get shut out this season. After they had been scoring enough runs, like 39 runs in their first 8 games, the offense had been there, but this was kind of the first sign that it was fading away, and that almost cost them in the series finale. So they get a win in this series, and then they get a loss, and now they get back in the win column. They win the series against the Padres, and 3-2 is the final score. Thankfully, it's kind of the end of this NL West gauntlet. Why did I choose that word if it's so hard to say? Gauntlet. The first 10 games, 4 against the Padres, 3 more against the Dodgers, and then 3 more here against the Padres. This is heavy teams in one of the heaviest divisions in all of baseball. You knew when this schedule came out that none of this was going to be easy for San Francisco, but they get a great outing from Logan Webb. 7 innings, 10 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks. How about that? 3 strikeouts. He goes another 85 pitches. And the Padres went up 2-0 early. The Giants get the final 3 runs. Jorge Soler gets 2 hits of the Giants' 6 total in the game. So the Giants didn't really hit the heck out of the ball, but they get it done with the late magic. They tie the game on a Padres error. They take the lead on a great Matt Chapman hit, inside-out swing, opposite field, brought the ball to right field. He does that so well. If you look at a Matt Chapman spray chart, if you're not familiar with the way he hits, a lot of times even pitches right down the middle, he is not afraid to go the other way with them, put some power behind that bat as he barrels it up. Doval gets his first save of the season, and the Giants go 4-6 after their first 10 games. And now they've played the Padres a bunch, right? 2 of the first 3 series. They won't see the Pods until September again. So let's get to my takeaways of this week and these 2 series. The Dodgers series, beyond the first game, right, which was kind of one-sided, the next 2 games, there was a lot of back and forth. But it did feel like the Giants were always playing catch-up in these games. That's a bad mental thing to set in your head for the rest of this season, like, oh, they're better than you, you need to constantly be chasing them. But that's my next point here. It's a long season. You don't know what's going to happen to the Dodgers. Really good or really bad. Or for the Giants, for that matter. You don't know what's going to happen, but you can't feel down about how strong the Dodgers looked. And you know what? If they're destined to just go on and win the NL West, that's fine, but that's not the only way into the playoffs. That's not the only way to cause some damage. And in the playoffs, in that type of series, anything can happen. Giants fans should very well know that. And the series go like this. You split a 4-game series, you got swept in a 3-game series, and then you won 2 out of 3 in this first home opening series of the season. So a little bit of everything. Looking at the starting rotation, yeah, it's been a mixed bag in terms of performance, and outside of Jordan Hicks and the Webb performance from Sunday, a little bit all over the place, hard to nail down. You also don't have Cobb. You also don't have Robbie Ray, who both of those gentlemen you're hopefully going to get sooner than later, Cobb before Ray, during the course of this season. And, oh yeah, hang on a second here, you're about to get Blake Snell tonight against the Washington Nationals at Oracle Park. So tell me 4-6 and getting Blake Snell's debut is a bad thing. It's absolutely not. I should make a reaction video to his first start. Maybe I'll do that separately as we see how tonight goes. A lot of the bats for San Francisco, Chapman and Lee included, they started hot, then they cooled off a little bit. And Soler has really yet to make his full-blown mark. And I think Conforto's probably been the most consistent bat and power bat in the lineup so far. I was hoping that was going to be Jung-Hoo Lee, but obviously he has cooled off a bit. So we'll see how things settle in with the offense and with the bats. A game like yesterday where Logan Webb was out there, didn't get all the run support that you'd want from him, you certainly hope that can change and that doesn't become more of the same and a theme that carries over from last year. But here's one that I'll end with. Giants have played 10 games. They're the only team in Major League Baseball right now that has yet to steal a base. And if I'm correct on this, there may be only 1 stolen base attempt. It's not like they've sent 5 guys and they've all got thrown out. I think they're just 0 for 1 on the season so far. That's crazy. They finished with the fewest swipes in all of baseball last year. I thought they'd be more athletic. I thought maybe they might utilize steals as more of their strategy this year. Doesn't look like it through 10 games. No steals and 1 attempt. Only team in baseball that is yet to have a stolen base. Some teams, I think like the Cincinnati Reds, are up to 16 stolen bases already. So that's this week in Giants baseball, looking back at the last 7 days of San Francisco. Again, I don't know if I'll stick on this format, try something different. You let me know in the comments section below how you'd like to see the weeks reviewed or brought up, maybe more topic-based instead of breakdown-based, but I'm interested in your feedback. I'm also interested in you helping me out here a little bit. If you like this video, and since you made it here to the end, if you could just go thumbs up down below, that'll help me and this video and this channel out. And by the way, speaking of the channel, don't forget to subscribe so I can definitely see you back here next time.